Hey, I'm live. I'm here. I'm finally got my studio halfway back together. I've got to level up these big cabinets facing me. But as you can tell, I do have the lights on, and I got all of the lights on. So the posters are ready to show up. Larry, Curly, and Mo back here. I've almost got Shep over here to my right. He's up here, but not where he belongs just yet because we got to have the mini split serviced next week. So next week, when I come in here, studio should be back together fully. And tomorrow I got to put everything back on the shelves because everything is scattered all over the place. So I got to cut off the picture here because the desk behind me is full of our knickknack and bric-a-brac and all the crap that's on normally on the shelves. So apologize for that. Before we get started tonight, I will say that Robert, I hadn't told our guests this, but I do not like discussing politics on the show, period. It was mentioned last week. I didn't care for that, but I didn't say anything at the time. But this week, I've only got a couple of things to say. In fact, one thing about what's going on. It came from a much wiser man than I. It says, before you enter into a conflict, or do not enter into a conflict, be sure that the battle is already won. And I'll explain that to you. You don't go picking a fight with somebody or starting a war with somebody unless you've got every contingency covered. Anything your opponent can do, you have a solution for. And then you go pick a fight. Not trying to figure out, oh no, what do I do now? After you've already started a war. So just remember that. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Try reading it sometime. All right. Gonna get to a little bit more fun. I got a special guest in tonight. But first, we're going to go ahead and, since it's my fault, yes, Christopher Talley. Jennifer doesn't blame it on me so much, but all the hell that Christopher's going through is my fault. Let's go ahead and talk or play the video of the New Orleans Paracon. Go ahead and roll the New Orleans Paracon video, please. Wow. That didn't go very well. It was on my end. That was stopping and starting the whole dadgum video. Uh, let's go ahead and try the other video and see if it fares any better. We may struggle to do videos tonight. The one with the bat. Hello?
Hey, I'm trying. It's glitching. We're having major issues tonight. All right, which one do you want me to try?
The one with the bat.
I'm trying to find it. You're gonna have to tell me the title, Lynn, because it's glitching.
We'll be at the new.
All right, let's try this one. Okay, I don't think we're gonna be able to do videos tonight. I don't know what is.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll go ahead and take them down, and maybe we won't. They won't be there to glitch.
Okay.
I just won't do the intro. Everybody can just pretend there's a squeaky door opening. Okay.
There you go. All right. Why don't we just bring the guest on?
Instead of showing my pictures, I can just pose. I can,
There you go. There you go. Poor Rob. He's been waiting patiently. It's usually not like this, guys. So okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Let me go ahead and bring in our guest. Who is it? Who was it? I forget. I gotta hook up his bio. I seem to have misplaced it. I tell you a little thing about Robert. It's Mr. Stanley Eagle Marshall. Give me another second. And roll up to the bio somewhere. Somewhere. There it is. No, that's not it. Okay, I'll get to it in a second. Wow.
I can tell you what I know, if that'd help.
Okay, here we go. Now I can read it.
Yeah.
We are about to bring on Robert C. Marshall, Master Sergeant, U.S. Air Force combat photojournalist, retired. He is a Black Native American, Cherokee Lumbee tribe. Tribal name is Stanley Eagle. He was the Air Force's first Black Native American in this career field. He served in the Vietnam era to Desert Storm. The first 5 years of his career was a tactical air reconnaissance in Germany. In 1975, the end of that assignment, because of his team's clearance level, they were diverted to Beale Air Force Base, California, and the SR-71. That is an impressive airplane. If you want to look at it, look up SR-71 and Google it. They'll show you some pictures of the SR-71. A super impressive plane. To the Pentagon and the Air Force Photo Depository to work on the declassification of the project book for 18 months. In 1976, he received his credentials through Syracuse University, class of 1977, and became a member of the first cadre of 56 U.S. Air Force combat journalists. In 1979, he was by name requested by Brigadier General Phillips to be assigned to Area 51 and its, quote, assets, unquote. Consider the Air Force Weapons Laboratory Special Projects section. Yeah. He's been delving in and dealing with the paranormal and UFOs all his life. And on the res and around the world, and in the Air Force. Robert Standing Eagle Marshall, where are you, sir? There we go.
Yo, Lynn, I is here.
You is here. Okay, I see you. You're moving. You're laughing.
A hoop,
I
and a
apologize
hop.
for the gremlins tonight, man.
Oh, like I said before, we went through this when I did my first talk last year on just the interim stuff of working in Area 51, and everything was on. They were trying to do it on Bluetooth to the audience, and it was glitching everywhere. You were picking up radio broadcasts, TV stuff. They were messing with it big time. And then the very next week, I my computer caught a virus. We had some showboaters in the audience that were trying to throw in some glitchy crap, like, where's the weather station in Area 51 and all of this all of this other stuff. I sent you some images of the black and white ones. The one that looks like something streaming straight up, that was just outside of Area 2.
Okay.
It was about 2:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And
Got one that's shaped like a upside down V with bright things, and another one has got like 5 or 6 things raining down with a bright spot in the lower. So which one are you talking about?
the one that looks like this, streaming up, and it's got lines coming across, it looks like a Jacob's ladder. You know, the science experiment of a Jacob's ladder where they hook up the electrodes, they're sitting next to each other like this. You put an electric charge and
Okay.
you see the electricity walk up the wires. Well, this was in the mid-air.
Go ahead and throw up 3FAFC04D. Is that it?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing was in between Area 2 and one of the contractors that's up in the mountain range, and it was like about 2:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden I saw this thing going up in the air like that for about a minute and a half. Then it cycled through different colors. Look, I was the techie guy, and about 5 years ago, I got driven to try and recreate the things that I'd seen. That, like I said, I've signed so many NDAs, it's ridiculous. And I had to get this out of my head, because I've seen way too much. So there's this, the the black blob that was black and white that looks like somebody standing in a doorway. I was in between Indian Springs and the nuclear test area at Mercury, Nevada. And just out of the corner of my eye, it was like a two-dimensional thing. It literally slid, like a door opened and there was something standing there. And then it popped when it closed. That was another thing that was like just before sunrise.
Wow.
Look, nighttime in Area 51 gets interesting.
I see. That is definitely interesting.
And then that blue field that you see, that white streak, that was just
that one.
Yeah. I recreated what I saw above Area 2 looking towards Provo, Utah. And that thing showed up in the sky. And it was
in the sky.
In the sky. And it was there a long time. I did my best to show how it was straight like this, but you see things coming off of it. It didn't move. It was just there. It was like somebody took a knife, cut through the sky, and pulled it.
It almost looks like a slash in our reality.
Yeah.
That is just weird looking.
Oh,
How
yeah.
big was it approximately? Could you tell?
I'd say it should have been about 5 or 10 miles long.
Wow.
It wasn't little. That thing was not little.
I'm
It
glad
didn't-
nothing came out of it.
It didn't pulsate. It was, well, I can't say that because the hair on my body just stood up each time it did this. It didn't move. You saw stuff coming off of it, like you can see in the picture. And then it just closed like nothing was there.
Did you get underneath it, or did it look like a
No.
triangle?
That thing was about 50 miles away. It was past the end of the mountain range that was Area 2, heading towards Provo.
Wow. I had no explanation for that.
And John Mariner said something about viewed from underneath. There was no way to view it from underneath. I was too far away from it. And here was the thing. When I when I met General Phillips, he was now a general. I had met him in Europe when I was in tactical recon, because he had something to do with the system that we were working on that was using lasers while you're doing aerial reconnaissance. The system we were on, you could only be on it 3 months at a time, off 2 months, and then back again, because during the time that you were off, they would dilate your pupils and take pictures of your irises to make sure that you didn't get any splash over while you were working with the machines and what the aircraft were doing. We could cut through anything, fog, camouflage. The Russians couldn't hide shit from us. And like I said, when we got ready to transfer to the States to Beale to put this on the SR-71, my crew got diverted. There were 4 crews. And because of our security clearances, we joked, about our clearance, because they said that we were classified over there at the level of nukes. And I said, okay, so what's the classification there? Cosmic secret. Went, oh, okay. So me and my crew, there was like 5 of us, we were diverted to the Pentagon and the still photo depository on Fern Street. This was a building. It was a warehouse complex that had CID. You named the number agency, it was in this warehouse, and each of the sections had vault doors. And we were in the center one. There was a railroad spur to the building, and occasionally there would be a yard pusher that would bring up these weird looking rail cars. You never saw these rail cars during the day. Would push these things up. Guards would come out. They'd put up these barriers so that it was linked to the doors of whatever agency they were going to. And then they would be moving things back and forth, close it up again, and back it went.
Cool.
Yeah, that whole complex is gone now. but it was an extremely interesting assignment. We were printing pictures, developing film, everything that was brought in when they were super important had guards with them. All of our trash had to go into these bags because anything that didn't print right wasn't left to go into the normal trash, the films and everything else. And then you signed an NDA and they left. A couple of days or weeks later, they come in with either movie film, still film. We'd process them. We had our own section of the lab away from everybody else. And then our normal duties was, being photographers like everybody else and processing things of golf tournaments and whoever else, things from the archives, we process that. But when the stuff for Blue Book came in, we were off in our own section.
Okay, Johnny Mariner, he's getting late for him. So good night, Johnny. Sleep well.
Where is he at?
Don't know. He never said. I am not familiar with Johnny Mariner, to be honest with you. Texas.
Oh, Texas. Okay, neighbor.
So it is 9:17 here in Texas, or I'm in Arkansas right next door. Now, Gwen, you want to throw up that last picture I put in, one with the plane? There we go. That's what we're talking about, isn't it? When you're with the SR-71 group?
Still got the circling. Yep, the SR-71.
That is a great HD picture of an SR-71.
Unbelievable aircraft.
Especially at the time it came out. It was amazing.
It still is, because it broke records that nobody has been able to break. And some of the records that they broke, they didn't tell you the actual time and speed because that's classified.
Yes.
So,
of course, it was classified where they got the metal. It was all titanium, wasn't it?
Yeah, all titanium.
They got from Russia, because we don't have titanium here. We got it all from Russia, said it was going to be for research.
Until we found, other sources and deposits. Right.
There's not too many sources of titanium even today. And we made these planes from Russian titanium to spy on Russia, which is amusing.
Mm-hmm. There was a joke at this one research facility in Area 51 where in 1960, you see if I get the thing right, 1962, either between 58 and 62, the Russians sent them a filament of, I think it was gold, that had been stretched out to where the end of it was microscopic. We drilled a hole in the microscopic end, threaded it through it, and sent it back to them. And the one contractor that was working on the system that we had in Germany was TRW, and they had on the roof of their building in Texas, the sign was in, I think they said 4-foot letters. If you can read this sign from 85 miles up, you are where we were 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That was crazy. And this was 1974. No, 1972. because they came in putting this system in, testing us, training us, and then we were off and running with it. And they, to show you how fast they were developing our cameras and optics, the camera system with forward-looking, rear-looking, right and left, left and right front split vert, left and right rear split, was a camera system that was 7 feet long and weighed about 500 pounds.
Wow.
In 4 years, this guy walked in with 3 Halliburton cases.
Halliburton.
Halliburton cases, suitcases. Opened these 3 things up, took this stuff out, and linked them together. And he goes, here's your new system. Which meant our recon planes could now carry more stuff.
Yes.
More sophisticated stuff in that bay. Made it a hell of a lot easier loading cameras and pods up into it.
Yeah, I bet it did. Amazing aircraft. Let me ask you a question. Gwen will put up the new picture, OIP2 JPG. You know what this is.
Yeah.
Where were you when the pilot defected that was flying one of these things, took it to an Air Force base, and Russia demanded their plane back, and we sent it back to them in crates?
Yeah, I know the story of that. I forget the year. I was in Germany from 1971 to 75. Then I had a break, and then I was back in theater from 1987 to 89. Still the damn Cold War. I know there were guys in my headquarters over in Europe that was talking about that. But this is the plane that they found out that the Russians didn't have transistors, but they had figured out how to make vacuum tubes that could withstand the G-forces of Mach, something that we weren't capable of doing, but they did. Because there were no transistors in that plane. That thing had just vacuum tubes.
Wow. Of course, this was a heck of a plane. And due to that defecting pilot, well, we were able to look over every piece of it and just copied it, graded it back up, and sent it back to them.
Yeah. Now, when I was in Area 51, we were working. There was the cover of the exercise was Electronic Warfare During Close Air Support, EWCAS. That was the general's baby, and I was brought there for that. The first month, we had C5s coming in at least once a week, offloading equipment that was Russian electronic warfare equipment and other stuff that I think we had reverse engineered, that they found pieces of it that were destroyed during the Yom Kippur War. And that's what we were working on. And the briefing of the NATO pilots and the American pilots was this: we are going to destroy your plane. We are going to smoke it out of the sky. If your plane starts smoking, you bail out. I will pay for the aircraft. You are not replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
And every form of aircraft that was used for close air support during a battlefield scenario was brought there and just ate up. There was there was a British Buccaneer pilot that he came up to do what they called a slingshot maneuver, which was they have the math down pat. You're coming in near Mach, you pull up, and right when you pull up, you eject a bomb.
Right.
And that bomb in its arc will come in and drop exactly where you needed it to, or close, within 50 yards. Now, when you're talking about a bomb that takes out 300 yards, 50 yards ain't shit.
Mhm.
So he came in and he went too far in before he popped up to do the simulated bomb drop. He had to punch out. It ate his plane.
Wow.
In his debrief, he was going, pardon my French, my fucking debris didn't even make it into the battlefield. Because as he did this and popped up, as his plane was losing it, it was committed to the kip over. So as it was dying, it was flying back out. So he had punched out and the plane was already committed.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. It was smoking. It was dead. I felt sorry for him, but the guy was laughing and crying at the same time because it's like, you killed my baby.
They always say it's my plane. It's actually our plane. The taxpayers pay for all that.
Well, the British, it was a British Buccaneer.
You're right.
But that's the way it is. You're assigned that plane. You've put it through all of this stuff. You've flown it for however how long. And he's going, you killed my baby. So we learned from that, and to show you how strong this equipment is, it was only working at 75 to 79%. And one day they decided to see what would happen if they cranked it up to 90. Certain electronic services down in Nevada went out. So you have to understand, Area 51 is the only place that you can test things in secure conditions and where surrounding areas are safe.
Glenn, go ahead and throw up the new picture, 69 CA1B 357. There it is.
Yep, that's a Buccaneer. Smoked it. That is one beautiful freaking plane.
It is. I got a nice picture of it here. This looks like a two-seater.
Yeah, that's their Recon, and also their tactical bomber version. You always have a tactical guy in the rear. I was at their base in Saarbrücken, Germany, on a TDY for 2 months. Great guys. We were showing them what our system could do and put a prototype on their plane. We use 5-inch film where they use 70 millimeter.
Of course.
But still got the same results. So, when we were getting ready to leave, NATO was baying at the leash to get that system for them.
All right. Well, that was an interesting story in the Buccaneer. Of course, being a little bit of an aviation nut, I can get those really quick.
Now, do we want to talk about some of the paranormal things?
uh,
Or
okay. Gwen, go ahead and throw up
or
AE
finish
five
or
two.
finish whatever questions you have on what we've been doing. And
All
then
right. Well, right now we don't have any questions in the comment section. There we go. What is that? Is my
that's the
question.
one that is the one I told you that I saw just before dawn on the edge of Indian Springs and Mercury, Nevada. And like I said, it was out of the corner of my eye. This looked like a door slid open. And this
Mm-hmm.
thing that you see standing in there, I couldn't recreate the glisten and shimmer that that was going on. And when I turned to fully take a look at it, you have to understand, I've been dealing with these phenomena since I was a child, and this was classified on the edge of what they call two dimensionals. They have height and width, no depth. But when you turn to look at them, they'll either turn or wherever they were coming through will close. So you can never really get a straight look at them. But I've got really good peripheral vision. And before I actually saw it, I was looking at it.
All right.
Don't know.
Uh, what about EB54B7, Gwen? I have no idea what I'm looking at here.
Okay, this is crossing into UFOs.
Okay, let's go
Now,
there.
I was on a tactical nuke base, Comiso, Sicily, from 1987 to 89. In the fall of 1988, we had this exercise, ground launch cruise missiles. Each base had about 60. Each truck carried 4 rounds. There were NATO inspectors there, and this day the rollout out of the containment area was full up rounds. There weren't dummies on board these trucks. And as they were reeling out into the yard, I'm at the other end of the base looking down towards the nuke area. And I had flown with the Air Weather Service and NOAA for about 6 months doing storm chasing. And I saw a storm front coming up from the left, from the right. This super dark, dense front. And it had a arc to it like this. This is the breeder for a tornado. It literally looked like my hand coming up like this. Coming in from the med was a white front, and it was going just like this, undulating, and it came just like this and slipped under just like that. As soon as it did, it started to turn. What I was looking at was the beginnings of an F5 tornado over the
Oh
nuke
wow.
area. Now, coming in over my building was a lenticular cloud, and it was moving faster than clouds should normally move. And it came in and it positioned itself just in front of this front. Trailing behind it after it got into position was this sparkling array. And it was just coming in like this. And it was like it was wrapping around this way, coming up and below. The next thing I know, this F5 was being compacted down to where I think it was only maybe 500 to 1,800 feet. It had been collapsed down like that. Now, the other picture that's with this.
Okay, that's 08B, that one?
Yeah. Now, you see this white area right there? That thing came in and did this. 1, 2. Next thing I know, it was split in 3 pieces. The furthest one on the right got thrown into the mountain range. The middle one was thrown back towards the med. The one that was on the left was tossed into the town of Comiso. It did minimal damage, but the most marked thing was at the stone cutting yard, that fragment picked up a 47-ton crane, twisted it into an L, and dropped it in the intersection of the main road in town. It didn't hit a car, didn't hit any people, just laid it down. And that lenticular cloud started opening up, and I saw a V-shaped vehicle, just no sonic boom, nothing, just boom, gone.
Wow. How is it traveling through the air at high speed and you're not leaving a sonic boom?
The theory is that they have a force field around them, and air doesn't get a chance to open and close, because that's what a sonic boom is.
Right.
But if that tornado had touched down, that whole area of Sicily would have been a dead zone with all of that nuclear material.
Wow.
Now, other people have talked how, they've come in and turned things on or shut things off. These didn't. These saved our butts.
Wow.
Whatever the hell was at work was there to cause a nuclear accident at the height of the Cold War on an American nuke base in a NATO country.
What year was this? Can you say that?
1988.
1988.
In the fall, from the end of summer into the fall.
Approximately September then.
Yeah, August, September.
Wow.
Now, I've told people about, the tornado that hit our base. I've looked for it and looked for it. Nothing.
Well, this is the first I've heard of it.
I was there and I watched it.
Wow.
The other thing too is that all of these research projects that I was working on for 5 years, that was for alternative energy, power production, various things like this. Our base was the Cadillac. It had every system on it. We were harvesting our own methane out of our sewage to produce our own electricity. The solid waste was turned into fuel pellets that were burned in a reactor that turned the turbines. We had batteries to store excess. Water was being returned to the water table. We had wind energy. We had solar panels. We were harvesting water out of the air.
You were self-sustaining.
Yeah, we were self-sustaining. There were 4,700 people on this base, and we had, power lines to the base. But if something happened and the power lines went down, we wouldn't have sweated it.
Hmm.
In a heartbeat, we'd be still going.
All right. What is this last picture? It looks a little bit longer. The B548. There you go. It says 27 September 2015.
Yeah, that's another recreation that I did, and this is the energy field that was around when I had my first um, alien contact when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
What you're looking at in the air, it's like plasma, except you can actually interact with it because I was touching it and moving it, letting go, and it would just go back to what it was doing.
Okay. For those who don't know, and most people don't know, could you explain what plasma is?
Plasma is super energized particles, can either be done, with extremely high energy electricity or other forms of energy. And some plasmas are deadly because they will strip you down to nothing. In other
Wow.
words, to your component atoms. And other things can be used for etching, carving, drilling. This was like a containment field where, you know, you're in it, and for all intents and purposes, you're there because they don't want anything else around, and it's just you and them.
Wow. Yeah, I was a little
Now,
bit familiar with plasma because I'm a little bit of a Star Trek nerd. So,
yeah, and
yeah.
this happened 4 days before my fourth birthday on the res, and I was out at the corral. We had a feast that day, and all these people are over at my cousin Daryl's house. People, the bedrooms were full. People are sleeping on the floor everywhere, and I was hearing my horse was outside raising a commotion, and I was concerned for her because she had injured her legs about 4 days before, where she was bounding like the sheep were, and she was mimicking them and just having a great old time until she came down on the pipes of the corral, and it tore the skin off the front of her shins.
Ouch.
Yeah. And everybody's talking about, we got to put her down, we got to put her down, we can't do this, can't do that. And I said, you're not touching my horse. So we bandaged her legs up, and so here this night, I'm listening to her carrying on, and I'm trying to wake up everybody, and nobody would move. So I'm stepping over people. I'm going out the house. I'm walking towards the corral, and when I almost got to the corral, this happened, and
Hmm.
she calmed down, and she walks over to the fence, and I'm rubbing her head, and I look down and I notice the bandages weren't on her legs, and her legs looked normal, like nothing ever happened. And then I felt like there's somebody next to me. So I turn like this, and I'm just looking up and up, and here's somebody that was as tall as the posts to the corral. This is between 8 and 12 feet. And I'm looking up, and all I could in my head was like, not to worry about a thing, little guy. Everything is okay. And this material like this in the air is just getting closer to me, and I'm moving my hand through it, and it's moving with my hands, and it's not interfering with my breathing. It's just here. And then
Hmm.
it stooped down and opened the visor, and when I looked at his face, his eyes were the same as mine. I sent you a picture. And
There
I
it is.
just, yeah, like I said, that ain't photoshopped. All of the people in the family or the tribe that were called the Star People had these blue rings around our eyes. My great great grandmother told me that when I was born, my eyes were more blue than brown. And as I got older, it shifted to that. And I felt completely comfortable with them because, hell, my great great grandmother had it, my grandmother, Daryl, his brother, and everybody that was, quote, medicine people, our eyes were like that. So it was like, okay, so this person looked like me, except their face was the Olmecs. And then somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around, and there was somebody that was just barely taller than me, was like maybe 4'11", like the height of my grandmother. And they said, "You have a special day coming up pretty soon." And I went, "Yeah, I'm going to be 4 years old, you know." And she's female. She didn't have a helmet on. And I'm looking at her face, and her face was almost like mine, and she had long, dread type of hair. And she goes, "We'd like to talk with you a little bit. Would you mind? We're not going to go far. We're just going to go over there." And she took me by the hand, and we started walking off. And as we walked off, I notice I'm not on the ground, and we're going up and up, and then something opened up, and I could see this big room, and that was the last thing I remembered.
Huh.
The next thing I know,
What did you think you were experiencing?
they took me somewhere. All I know is that near dawn, because this was like 2:30 in the morning, near dawn, the sun's coming up, and they're leaving me off over at um, my cousin Daryl's brother's house that was 5 miles away. And I just turned back, and that was it. They were gone. It's like, okay, so I just walked on over to Glenn's house, opened the door, went over to his cabinet, pulled out a blanket, went over to the couch, and I laid down on it. Next thing I know, I'm getting woke up, and everybody is upset, like, how the hell did you get here? And I'm trying to explain to them that I was talking with some people that were in these weird clothing, and okay, enough of this. Put me in the pickup truck, drove me over to Daryl's. Everybody over there is yelling and screaming and bitching and hollering, and I'm trying to tell them, because they kept asking me, "Where were you at? What were you doing?" And nobody would listen to me. And I said, "I was with people that look like me." And they were just going and going and going. And then finally, my great great grandmother said, "Shut the fuck up. Listen to what he's saying." And she said, "Robbie, say that again." And I said, "I wasn't afraid of them because their eyes were exactly like mine and yours." Now everybody got quiet. And, they said, "Well, what else was going on?" I don't know. We walked up into the sky, And the next thing I know, I'm over at Glenn's house. I was tired, so I went in and got a blanket and lay down on the couch. No big deal. To me, it wasn't. What the hell? And that's when my great great grandmother said, "We need to start training him now. We already know what it is that he's been doing that we haven't shown him that he knows how to do, and we've got to get on this because he may do something out there that's going to draw undue attention to us in here." Because they told me that when I was 18 months old, my father was playing with me and he was tossing me around and jiggling me and doing all sorts of stuff like that, and kissing my forehead and tickling me. And then they said I did this. My face turned serious. I put my hands out like this, and I put my hands on either side of his head. And just before I touched his head, something blew, popped like this, and we're laying on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And my great great grandmother, her name was Sarah, she said, "From that day on, we have been watching you like a hawk because you were doing things that we have been doing as kids that grew out of it as we got older because it's more under control. But when you're a little child like that, there's no guardrails."
No.
And yeah, from 4 years old on until I was 12, I was being trained. My thing was always energy. The other thing was I had this thing of drawing glyphs, and it kind of, well, I'm sorry, it pissed off some of the members of the tribes who became Christians because they were telling the preacher what it was I was doing, and the preacher was telling them that I was hexing them, that the glyphs in that I was drawing was hexing. And it was no such thing. It was just things that I saw in my head that had some kind of meaning that I didn't know until I got older, as I progressed and I met other teachers. I was drawing runes, Nordic runes, when I was 4.
Nordic runes.
Yeah. There were
And
ones in
you were 4
particular.
years old.
Yeah. I was drawing other glyphs that was like the I Ching. I was drawing the I Ching for earth, for heaven, for the in-between. The other one was the return. And the return had a figure standing over it that most of the workers in the tribe had too, but I had it at 4 years old. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it in here.
What was this, an ancestor experience, a paranormal experience, or was it an alien experience?
I think it was an alien experience, but there was other things with it that showed some of these things crossed into each other, because one of the things that I did as a child was helping people who were dying to cross over, and I had never been shown that. This one.
What does that depict?
A entity returning, coming back. because it's standing over the I Ching for return, but it has something else added to it. Now, what I found out, look, as I got older, had enough of a vocabulary that I could tell people what my experiences was. And from as far back as I can remember, there was like this book in my head. And when I started explaining that, everybody just kind of looked at each other and nodded, recognition. They all had a book. Whenever they came across something and they needed instruction or something like that, it would open up and it would show you a symbol or something like this, especially with me because I work with symbols for doing energy work and healing. And I got them to understand that it would appear, it would open up, and I would see what I needed to do. And I was doing things that I shouldn't have seen until I got older. So I was like setting up different altars. I was doing various energy healing. I found out that after I got attuned to Reiki, that I already had 3 pieces of Reiki symbols since I was a child. And when I ran into this Reiki master and she attuned me and she gave me the rest of the formula, it was like, well, I already had that. So my life is.
You had this at an extremely young age. You had this at an extremely young age.
Yeah. And like I said, it kind of scared people, got others mad. Look, later I'll send you some copies of it. But my life has been intertwined with UFOs, with the paranormal. On my one base in Germany, Zweibrücken, there were these bunkers and turrets and things where the Germans there died to the last man. It was highly active of ghosts and discorporate entities and everything else like that. When they noticed that I could see them, let's just say all hell kind of broke loose because they're talking to me and they're just downloading all of this stuff because look, from their childhood to when they died, and then they're hovering out here and nobody is paying attention to them, and then all of a sudden I come along and I could see them, and I had broken German, they had broken English, and then eventually it got to the point of where I could understand them without them talking. And well, when we made the coffee house in the basement of the rec center that was only 200 yards away from a destroyed bunker, while we were down there doing the construction, one of my friends is over here painting next to this window where the stairs were coming down. And I saw this individual walking down the stairs, and he was phasing in and out from his like a German marshal's uniform, the long leather coat and all of this stuff, to a skeleton and back again. And he's coming down the stairs. He stops at the stairs, looks in like this, and I see him, and I wave like this, and he nods his head, and he continues on down the stairs, he gets to the doorway, and my buddy could hear somebody walking down the stairs. So he's in the middle of painting like this. And this fucker screwed with him. I mean, bad. You saw a hand come around the doorway, fully fleshed and everything, and then it turned into a skeleton when he turned off the light. And my buddy goes, "Oh, fuck no. Shit. Hell no." And he dropped everything, and the German stood off to the side like this, leaning against the wall, as my buddy ran past and up the stairs.
He checked out, huh?
Yeah. And I yelled at him, "Stop doing this. This place is going to be for you too. So stop messing with them." Okay, so finally, kind of, mumbling and shit like for dumped, like, God damn it. And I went, "Go, just leave." So after we finally finished the place, we put up an area where there were curtains and had black lights in there and different things drawn on the wall. And they would hang out in there with the kids. And I would give the kids a spray bottle with water that was misting for them to spray it in the air, and they'd walk through it and you could see them. And when the black light was off of the mist of water in the air, you could see them.
Mm-hmm.
And what I finally did, this was like 6 months before I was rotate out and come back to the States. I fixed it at that one bunker where it was a portal, so that if they wanted to leave, they could leave. Anybody that wants to stop being here and go on to whatever, here you go. And that was like my parting gift to them, because I really felt sorry for them, and I was able to give them a way to go home or wherever
they wanted to go.
Yeah, because we get so hung up on this shit of heaven and hell, not knowing that there's a lot more out there than this, a hell of a lot more. I grew up with concentration camp survivors, and I've been a pipe carrier since I was 15. And I made a promise to them that if I was ever in a position to honor them and try and soothe their relatives and that they lost, that I would do that. So I wound up being stationed in West Germany. So there were holding camps in France, in Germany, and the worst one of all was Dachau. And I did a pipe ceremony for them at Dachau, because I grew up with like 15 various concentration camp survivors. And, I made that pledge to them. And while I was doing the ceremony at Dachau, the pipe that I was gifted at 15 started to break apart. This happens when it's telling you, I've given all of my energy, it's time for me to go. And so I buried my pipe at Dachau. And I left.
That's not the pipe you sent me a picture of, is it?
No, that's my last one. The one before that, I was doing a peace ceremony right after 9/11, and I had set up like a little altar for it after I had put it together, because I had to go and do some things with the people that were there as participants. Well, somebody stomped and broke up the pipe and the altar while I
Mm-hmm.
was inside. Never found out who did it, but unbeknownst to them, the pipe is just a symbol. I finished the ceremony with a cigar, so it's basically F you.
Mm-hmm.
You 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 also have to understand that because I'm a half breed, me being a pipe carrier seems to be an affront to the other natives because they think that I'm not Indian enough. What is Indian enough? Okay, I'm doing the ceremonies, I'm following the rules, I'm following the rites, and I'm part Native American. Now, as a silly villain, I'm saying I'm part Native American because that's what everybody accepts. No, I'm Native American. Screw it. So, at one time, there was a chief up in the Dakotas that sent this thing out like a call to arms that if you see anyone that's using a pipe and they are not Native American, to take it from them. Well, I guess this person decided that they were going to break it.
Mm-hmm.
So, about a year after that happened, a good friend of mine from the Pueblos here gifted me that pipe, and I've had that one ever since.
Was this one pictured?
Yeah, the
You
one
want
in
to throw
here.
that up, Gwen? 99 F8.
And what you see hanging from it are the different emblems of my medicine. What most people don't want to talk about is that Native Americans in the Northeast had a pact with the Vikings. When the Vikings came here, they saw that there was commonality between them, and they even sent representatives back with them because they had one symbol on their shields and on their sail that was Tiwa, and that was the rune of judgment and the warrior. It's an arrow. What you see on there that looks like a broken F is Onsus, which is God. Odin. And the other three are just from other various things that I can't talk about.
It's beautiful. Even Gwen said it was beautiful.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. That pipe gets extremely intense. They do have a mind of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Once they've been quote consecrated, they're ready to go.
Gwen, if Lee's still there with you and awake, do you or Lee have any questions you want to ask Robert? Oh, she went to sleep. Okay.
Who went to sleep?
Mhm. Lee, she's actually the CEO of the network. She's also part Native American.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask if she had any questions.
Yeah, I saw on your intro, there's a shitload of you guys.
Yes. Gwen, how many shows do we have now? About 20?
We have 23, I think, at last count.
And which affiliation are you, Gwen?
I'm Cherokee.
Welcome aboard.
I just found out probably 2 years ago. Went to my first powwow last year. Ours is coming up again in May.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have the flyer for it, and I'm trying to embrace more. Lee has known about hers for a long time, so I'm trying to. And I get what you're saying about it shouldn't matter, but to some people it does because I don't look it. You see my picture there. I don't look it, but that's okay. Doesn't matter.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, one drop.
Okay.
That's all it takes. Yeah.
Spirit is spirit.
Mm-hmm.
To show you the one instance of what I had to put up with on the res, I was drawing
That's us.
this one glyph.
I saw the one you showed a few minutes ago.
Not that one, this
Not that
one. And this one. I was drawing it outside the corral
Oh, wow.
along with a bunch of others that I was doing. And this one member of the family came over, threw me on the ground, and stomped on my hand to try and break my hand, saying that I've got to stop doing the devil's work. And the minister said to do whatever you can to stop me from hexing people.
Oh, wow.
The only thing to save my hand was because of the really soft dirt there at the corral. And when he was trying to step on my hand again, that's when Daryl tackled him. It wasn't pretty. And he was forbidden to come around again. This is the kind of stuff I've had to put up with all of my life. And, when the industry of religion poisons things, and I'll leave it at that,
Yes.
because I've seen way too much damage around the world from fanatics.
Yes. Yeah, she's asleep. I apologize. Here, this is the only picture I have right now of us. This is when we were on a magazine. This is Lee Triana, and that's me.
Rolling Hills Asylum?
Well, that's a Paranormal Underground, the magazine we were on. But that's her.
Oh.
That's Lee Triana, mom. Yeah.
Kecksburg.
But she's also part Filipino, and I think I don't want to say the rest, but because I can't remember. But
the tribe is Negrito.
Okay. So, which reservation did you spend time? When you were
All I can remember is that we would get off the train in Ponca City and then drive like 2.5 hours southwest from there.
Oh, wow.
And that was where Daryl's ranch was. I also had relatives outside of St. Louis, and we would do ceremony and things there.
Mm-hmm.
I had teachers all over the place. I was getting steeped in, there was in my family Catholics, Baptists, Pentecostals, African, Methodist, Episcopal, and some other weird offshoot. I had an imam. Yeah, I had an imam. And there was Buddhists in the family also. And I got passed around because they said where you're going to go and what you're going to do, because they saw things that I hadn't yet.
Right.
And they knew, well, you're also going to go into the military because every last one of us has served from the Buffalo Soldiers to now. And so are you. And we got to get you ready. And they did. And I dropped out of college when I was 22. Went to an Air Force recruiter. I had endorsement letters from my congressman, from Gordon Parks, from my physics teacher, and got it done in October of 1970. Got home, my mom was crying, sitting on the couch, and she's going, and I'm asking her, Mom, what are you crying about? You got drafted. She had my draft paper.
There is humor in that.
And I just went, oh, Mom, don't worry about that. I enlisted this morning. She was up off that couch, hit me, almost knocked me down, grabbed me and hugged me, and she's crying and doing this on each side of my face. How can you do that? At least I know where I'm going. And it isn't in the Army.
So what year did you enlist? Did you 70?
I delayed enlist October of 1970, and I went active January the 7th of 1971. And there has been something going on from the first day I enlisted through my career that was leading me to Area 51. Now, please understand something. I was supposed to go to European Stars and Stripes, but before I could go there, I had to be at the base photo lab in Ramstein for 6 months while they put together the section that I was going to be in. Because I was already a newspaper photographer and writer before I went in. And get this, didn't want any niggers in his crew. So he made an arrangement with the recon outfit to give him 2 people. That automatically triggered me going to the recon unit because they were undermanned. If they only took 1 person, I would have still gone to the photo lab. If they pulled 2, I was locked in. So being there and developing all of this film and seeing all of these UFOs that we were capturing just doing our normal assignments of air recon and the NDAs we had to sign, and you never saw this, and these things just got put away somewhere.
Right.
And then the system that I was working on that gave me this high clearance that triggered me going to the Pentagon instead of the Beale. And just out of nowhere, the guy that runs the combat photojournalist section comes into the lab one day, walks over to me, and he goes, I'm doing a seminar, and I would like you to attend. I think you would benefit from this. Yeah. Okay. And okay, I put in, my resume and the photos and everything. But when the lab found out that I was competing, there was only 3 black people in the lab. They took my camera equipment, saying that it had to go back into the pool. First was for maintenance, and then as a pool item. So for about a week there, I didn't have a camera. So I went to my house, unpacked all of my gear, and I came in the next day with my camera equipment and put it in my locker. And they're going, where the hell did you get all of that camera equipment? That needs to go in the pool. No, it doesn't. It's mine. You need to read my records and find out who and what the hell I was before I came in the service. And they were pissed as hell. So then they shifted my duty time and schedule to where I was on night shift. They were doing everything to keep me from being able to get my portfolio and everything together. But my my supervisor at the time, he made arrangements with Bolling Air Force Base, the Navy base, the Army base, and the Coast Guard to use their labs. And so I'm on night shift, but during the day, before I would go to sleep, I'd go shoot some stuff, get it processed, come home, go to bed, get up to do night shift. And I did that for a month. Got
Oh, wow.
everything turned in. They did not do this to my wingman that was Dave Schaefer. He was white. He had no problems. I got my portfolio, my biography, and everything turned in. And I also, he also told Ken Hackman what the lab was doing. So when I won, he sent orders to the orderly room, and he also sent them to me personally. The orders that showed up at the orderly room disappeared. I guess they thought that that was going to stop me. So for a week and a half, I did my out processing on my own time during the day because I was still on night shift. And one day I walked into the orderly room, which was the week that they were going to come and pack up all of my household goods, do all of the rest of my out processing, and I was going to leave. And I gave them all of the paperwork for out processing because it was done. And they're going, "What is this?" That's my out processing paperwork. I'm leaving. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Oh, and here's your set of orders. So I gave them the 20 that went to them, plus the 10 that I had for my out processing. And I told them, "I'll see you guys later. Goodbye."
Oh, wow. So can I show you a picture that I got off? I kind of went on your site and or your webpage and looked.
Yeah.
I think this is you now.
Yeah, that was me in a desert assignment.
Oh, wow. And also some of your work. If some of this is not, please tell me.
That's Mexico City, September 1985.
Interesting.
That is what's left of the Hospital Juarez. It just crumbled. They've lost a lot of people in there. One of the nurses, she died, but she got all of the babies that were in the NICU and the nursery into a secure part of the building as it was collapsing, and they found her holding a baby.
Let's see. I've got some others too. Let's see. That one's intense, actually.
Yeah, that's a small group of Rangers that I was with. We were doing practice because those things on the end of their guns are lasers.
Interesting. And let's see. Is that from you?
Yeah. Also? Yeah. He got a head wound. We were on a deployment that went live, and he stumbled into an area where the special ops guys were practicing, and he got hit in the head with a practice knife.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. He stepped around the corner just as the guy was throwing this practice knife at another guy that was in a padded suit to look, we do shit for real. And you know, he was wearing this suit that was padded, like you see the suits that that they use for dogs.
Yes.
And the coach and the guy that was there as a quality control was checking on his accuracy. Well, he stepped from around this barrier. He was down low. He stood up and got hit in the head. It just tore the skin off his forehead. So, yeah.
Now, I believe some of this, they're really small by the time I load them up, but this.
That's a tornado that almost killed me. The sun's going down. I'm in North Dakota, Minot, North Dakota, out at one of the missile sites. And we had been dealing with tornadoes and high winds all day. And the sun was going down. I had just gotten on the intercom for these guys, to let me in. And they weren't answering. And I turned around, and I shot this with a 24 millimeter lens. That tornado is way closer than it looks. It was only about 100 yards away from me.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm clicking on the intercom, and these guys weren't answering. So I took the webbing out of my bag, put it through the fence, wrapped it around me, and tied it. And as this thing was coming at me, I had my camera going as it passed over me.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then
I'm sure
they got on the Squawk Box.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, I'm going to write you up for this. and for the next day, they were treating me like God.
Well, I'll tell you, I've checked out some of your artwork, and also tell me now. I'm not sure. Did you make this?
Yeah, that's a piece of jewelry I did. I build jewelry and talismans.
Right. Now I see. I couldn't load them all up. So this is
that's a choker. That's
that
a prayer symbol.
Yeah.
That's the journey to the center, to the self, where you stand and go, I am. The 3 circles: body, mind, spirit.
Right.
It took me a month and a half to carve that.
I was going to ask you, how did you do that? But that's
a diamond tool on an engraver.
Wow. Well, I actually have some of Reiki symbols, and I didn't have them like in my notebook here, but I have a lot of that kind of stuff, and I was looking some of that up when I saw that, so that was interesting. And also, this is very cool.
Yeah.
Did you do the beadwork yourself?
No. Medicine Man at the Pueblo and Fort Defiance made that for me. And that rune down there, I had been drawing since I was 4 years old. And
is that the one that you showed first in that, or is that similar?
No.
Okay. I couldn't see it very well when you were showing it.
There's some similarities in it because this is what's called a rune script. And I didn't know until 1973 when I was on assignment with the Dutch Air Force. And the guy that was my wingman for a month, he saw me during a briefing drawing these different glyphs, and I drew that. And he goes, do you know runes? What do you mean runes? What are runes? And he's going, what you've been drawing for the last half hour are Nordic runes. And that is the rune of the shaman. And he taught me what runes were for the next month I was there. And when I opened I had a bookstore, and I got a medicine bag, a working bag, and this is on the flap of it. And I carved that into bone and attached it to my bag, because there was this very wise Native American woman. Her name was Jackie Littlejohn. her and 5 other elder women pinned my ears back because I didn't want to be called a shaman because of all of the bad things they were doing up in Santa Fe. And these people were calling themselves shamans. And she goes, okay, do you commune with the dead? Yes, I commune with the dead. Do you help those that are going to depart to cross over? Yes, I help them to cross over. Do you do these various ceremonies? And she named them off. Yeah, I do those. And the other 4 went, you are a shaman. Live with it. That's what you are. Don't be ashamed of it. And I said, but what about the screw them?
Yeah.
You are what you are.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
When did you see Sean's statement? In the chat.
I just saw it pop up.
I missed what you.
Okay, here you go. Can you see Sean? Well, it's Eternal Expert.
That's one of
Sean
the
that was in
symbols
here earlier.
That showed up after I got my Menaki rights.
Menaki, right?
Yeah, Menaki. Oh, cool. So we're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Me and Sean have had many conversations about this kind of thing. So.
Here is something that came up in Area 51. And I hope you guys can understand. I was working with a physicist that was the most spiritual person next to the people in my tribe.
Wow.
And he said, imagine there is a switchboard. And this switchboard was being accessed by every spiritually connected high vibration person on the planet since the dawn of time. We are finding all of these similarities across every indigenous tribe and people on this planet, but they never had any contact physically with each other. Never. But they've got these symbols and ceremonies that are crossing over. And he said, there is a spiritual switchboard, and it gets accessed by those people in the know. And what do you call the ones in the know? They don't even know. It just starts downloading into their heads from other people that they've never seen. Right. And there is a memory bank up there that when somebody reaches a certain level, it starts downloading.
Yes.
And when I told him about my book, he went crazy because he goes in his accent, I have book 2.
Interesting.
It's like, yo, Vol, I have book 2. So what do? You just accept it.
What's wrong?
That is when, how can I put this? This is when I decided to accept it and, not care what other people thought, is when I became my happiest. Really, living my, I guess, true, honest life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have them right by the door. Well, I built it that way.
I don't know if you can read what
Anubis.
Anubis, yes.
Hello, people.
Oh, that's Lynn's wife. Hey.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, they're saying hello, girl. She says hello back.
But I am now 76 years old. I went through this process when I retired. We had a room full of people. We all signed the standard 25-year NDA. He said, all right, gentlemen, you can leave. Sergeant Marshall, you need to stay behind because there's some people that they need to talk to you before you're being allowed to leave. before I'm
Okay.
being allowed to leave. Okay. So he goes out the door. A guy steps in, a guard, locks the door, and he stands by the door. The door that he initially came in, two guards come in, stand on either side of the door. A man in a suit walks in, closes the door. He's got a briefcase with a handcuff to it.
Oh, good grief.
That
He
doesn't
walks,
feel real great, does it?
he comes over to my table and he goes, Sergeant Marshall, before you're being allowed to leave today, we have some other paperwork that you need to sign, if you don't mind. Oh, like I have a choice.
Yeah.
So the guard unhooks the handcuff, opens up the briefcase after he does the combination,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, now, leafs through, comes out. These NDAs are 10 years in addition to the ones that you just did. Lays that down in front of me. These are 20. These are between 30 and 40. And then he pulls out this stack like this. And these are 50.
Oh, wow.
I'm 42 at the time.
You're like, how old
I,
do you think I'm
I
gonna
will
be?
be 92 years old before I can say shit. And he goes, shall we begin?
Oh, wow.
This was 2:00. I got out of there 7:38 at night.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief.
And with all of the crap that has been going on and shit that's been happening, I made it up in my mind that I'm not going to touch the ones that are 50, but I got news for you. The other ones haven't run out. And I'm talking. I'm sorry. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Because they had a thing on the news just near the end of last year where they brought up this shit, literally shit, about a 747 that's in the boneyard that was the platform for the airborne laser. Okay?
Oh, okay.
That was bullshit. The first airborne laser was 1983. Okay? And one of my first assignments with General Phillips was at TRW in 1978, just before I had to go over to do Reforger and a bunch of other assignments that led me to Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down to TRW, and please understand this. I met Gordon Parks through my physics teacher when I was in high school. And I showed him some of the work that I was doing that was abstract stuff, abstract photography and other things like this. And the one thing he said was, son, your brain ain't wired like the rest of us humans. Okay. That's a good thing. Don't change it, no matter what the hell anybody tries to do to you. But your brain ain't wired like us. Okay. So I meet General Phillips. He tells my boss that he needs to borrow me for this assignment down in LA. And so the next day I'm in LA, I'm sitting in this conference with all of these big wigs and brains out of the ass. And I leaned over and I went, General Phillips, why am I here? And he just goes, because I need somebody on this project whose brain ain't wired like the rest of us. And I went, and he went, mm-mm, mm-mm. So the next thing I know, I'm in this room, and there is this tank that is the size of a trailer that an 18-wheeler halls, and it's only got one port on it on the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking around the room, and these guys are asking, what the hell did you bring him here for? What is he doing? And he goes, just shut up and let him work. So I've looked over everything. I've done some measurements. And then I got up on a ladder and I look into this port and I go, has anybody seen what's in here while it's working? Has anybody seen anything?
Mm-hmm.
How the hell can we see anything? It's 1 million gallons of 30 weight oil, and there's capacitors and all sorts of things in there that's getting charged up, and you can't see that. Want to make a bet? And I said, General Phillips, can I get some cardboard, some duct tape, and give me a half hour? And he goes, have at it. So I made an adapter so that I could put my camera flush up against that viewport. I loaded it with 50 ASA Kodachrome, taped it all down, opened the shutter, and I went, gentlemen, when you're ready to fire this thing, have at it. Did that 3 times. I gave them the film. Now, please understand this. Phillips told me, you have to understand, I know your shooting ability, and you have a 93% shoot rate. That means you can almost use every damn thing I shot under a clinical setting. And you're never going to see any of the images you've created, but we need them. Okay, so that's what I did. Came back a month later, they had shrunk it half its size. And this time when I took the pictures, these guys had made an adapter for my camera.
That's interesting now.
Hooked the thing up. It matched the bolts. All I had to do was push it, turn it, and it was like a bayonet mount. And I put my camera in there. Same film again. They didn't call me back, but he said, don't worry about a thing. We're moving along. 1984. I'm at Indian Springs. They're loading cargo onto this specially made C-141 cargo plane. And I see this thing that they're driving up into the plane that was now the size of a minivan. Yeah. So this was the capacitor actuator to charge up the airborne laser.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they flew that day, and it was unbelievable.
It sounds like it.
So airborne laser works, but here's the other thing that they slipped past everybody. Remember, they had the shuttle going up on one mission, and they said, we're going to deploy this 6-foot round mirror on the side of the shuttle, and we are going to fire a laser from Vandenberg Air Force Base to hit that mirror, and it is going to be reflected down to 2 ground stations, the ground station in Australia, the ground station in Chile. Guys, understand something. The shuttle is at over 85 miles up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how big that target would look if you could see it from the ground? Maybe the size of the end of this.
I was going to say super small, super small.
And you're going to hit that with a laser. Angle of incident equals angle of reflection. And you are going to hit targets on the ground reflecting. What is this telling you they can do with that laser?
Target anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Target anything.
Yes.
So basically, they were showing all the powers that be around the world.
Mm-hmm.
You launch a MIRV with multiple warheads, and it is never going to see ground because that mirror was the size of the payload coming off of a multiple re-entry vehicle carrying nuclear warheads. We'll smoke it.
Mm-hmm. And for those people that don't know, nuclear warheads are shot suborbital. They've got to go that high. They leave the atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
and come back down.
Tip over, and on re-entry, separate. Well, right when it gets here, it's done.
Mm-hmm. Then they fall back to Earth through a heat shield, come through the atmosphere.
But it'll fall back dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They will kill it on apogee. When it drops perigee, there's nothing there to deploy.
Yeah, before it drops its payload, you've killed it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. Do you have a book that you've written, or more than one book? I tried to research, and I didn't actually.
I have not been able to get it out of my head. My wife has been telling me to maybe use an AI program and dictate it, because every time I tried to write, I can talk about the things now without crying that happened when I was on the res and other events in my life. I can talk about it, but every time I try to write it down, I just can't do it.
Well, I'll tell you.
She said, use an AI program and dictate it and see what I can do from there.
She's right. And you can use, there's several of them. You can just dictate onto something and then get somebody to type it out for you or anything like that. But you could also use something like Chat GBT, which helps. And that is really super simple. Yeah, it sounds like you need to. I keep seeing books, so I don't know if you've been thinking about it or what, but you should. You definitely should.
Let me ask you.
Before somebody shows up my door. And...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lynn. I'm sorry I interrupted.
I've been waiting for that same knock, because I predicted this war that we're in right now going exactly the way it is, and I'm waiting for that knock on the door. I'm saying, okay, you knew what was going to happen before it happened. How do we get the hell out of this war?
I know exactly how we can get the hell out of it, and it's going to hurt, because we've already done too damn much already.
Mm-hmm.
Please understand something. Just from my knowledge of weapon systems and how things work, and if these guys knew their ass better from hole in the ground, they would not have let this happen the way it is. If you were going to go in there, the first thing you do is take out everything that can answer back. They never did. Okay? These guys are doing this like they're playing Call of Duty. All right? They don't know shit. They are imbeciles. They are morons. Okay? In the Gulf War. My other job was working on the system that, all right, I was assigned to A-Team number 2. My global tactical code was 846-000-24-33-234. I would be inserted with SEAL Team 3 or 5, the Rangers, the Marines, Delta. 5-man fire team, I would be number 6. We would jump in, hike in, laze a target. A plane was loitering some 50 miles out. and I would laser the target using my camera, send them in, take out the targets, we leave. Okay, we did that all through the Gulf War.
Mm-hmm.
We now have better systems, but still using the same things,
Mm-hmm.
would take out every last mobile launch vehicle they've got. The storage areas for all of those ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. We know where they are. They didn't do shit. They
Right.
did not hit them. If you went into this serious, the day before, during the night, would have smoked them all. Would find out where all of their drones are being manufactured and stored, wipe them out.
Right.
Mhm.
Cut the head off.
Yep.
You
Exactly.
cut the head off. Done. Okay, to show you how good a job we did during Desert Storm, Hussein had a price on our heads.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of my guys showed my team before I was supposed to deploy there that they know you guys are coming and they've got a reward on your ass. And we took the head off. They had nothing to answer back. These guys, they're playing. Okay, please understand, the only reason this war is going on is because he does not want to go to jail. He does not want people still concentrating on the Epstein files. Everything in this war is on the news cycle first,
Mm-hmm.
and the Epstein files are being buried. That is all this is about. I'm not pulling any punches here. I don't give a shit what anybody else out there wants to say. Okay? The Epstein files and him being in it, and other people of Congress that are Republicans and other people in industry are being covered, not to see the light of day. When the first files came out, his name was mentioned 30,000 times. When the unabridged one was 1 million. Please understand, overseas, anybody and everybody that was in those files has been relieved of duty, charged, and going to trial. That isn't happening here because they have to protect his ass.
Yeah.
Right.
They even got a Prince of Great Britain.
Yes. There's ambassadors. There's other people in industry that are CEOs overseas. They have been arrested. That isn't happening here. And I had a conversation in Walmart just a few hours ago. This was at 2:30 this afternoon here, where this guy is asking me about what do you think about the war and everything and how Trump is doing such a bang up job. And I said, bullshit. And everything that I laid out to him, talk about dissonance, cognitive dissonance. He was saying bullshit and lie to every fact that I laid out, and actually had the nerve to say, you can't rape the willing. And I went, the only thing that's saving me from doing something to you right now is that your ass ain't worth going to jail. Do some research and get your head out of your ass, get off of FAW News and all of these other right-wing trumped up sites and read the facts. That is what's going on out here. These people are ridiculous. I said, why is it that you won't believe what the women said? Well, you can't rape the willing. Yeah.
A 12 or 13-year-old girl can't give permission.
No,
She's
she
not
cannot.
old enough.
No. And when somebody dropped you off somewhere and said that you're going to a party or you're going to their main thing was teenagers to be used as models in
Right.
commercials.
They want modeling
That
career.
was their, yes. Nobody is talking about Trump's original, quote, modeling agency with all of these women from the Slavic countries that was being investigated 5 years in, I think, for call girls and prostitution. Epstein was in that. He had that along with somebody else, and he extricated himself from that. But at the same time, he was still running Teen America, Teen USA, and the ones that were being trafficked out of that. And, I brought up with him that 13-year-old girl that when she finally got the wherewithal and filed charges, they threatened her family. And that's why she withdrew the charges. But the case is still open. And he's going, that's a lie. No, it isn't. He's a convicted felon. And he's going, well, she should have been more careful. What do you mean, be more careful? He was a predator.
Correct.
He cornered her, drugged her, raped her. And then here's years later, she's middle-aged, and he's going, she's really not my type. Well, she was at the time, because when you look at her younger pictures, have you noticed how all of them have either the body type or some similarity to his daughter? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. That don't float.
You remember what I said in my opening statement? Quoted Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Never enter into combat unless the combat is already won.
Yes.
And that what you were talking about was an example of how you win a conflict before you even started.
Yeah.
If you can think of everything that your enemy can do, like close the Straits of Hormuz, that's number one. Any idiot could tell you that that's what Iran is going to counter with. You take out their means of doing that.
Yes.
You take out every damn motorboat they have. And all that would take is a good SEALs team and a few Rangers, and they could have blown up every damn thing that floated.
Yes.
That they owned. And Pete Hegseth last year pulled out all of our anti-mine boats, our minesweepers.
All of the minesweepers.
Pulled them to scrap. Didn't set them up for training. Didn't put them in reserve. Didn't put them in a mothball fleet. He sold them for scrap. And the new minesweepers, they can't get anything to work on them.
No, because the same thing happened with Russia's military complex, graft and bullshit. You've got single company people bidding, and they're putting this stuff out there that doesn't work. And you've gotten rid of everything that does.
Yes, exactly. And they should have been kept on station, even if they were old, until the new ones, they got all the kinks put out of them, and they actually got them working. Then you start phasing out one by one.
But they fielded them, and they had kinks in them.
Yeah, they fielded them before they were ready.
Well, they were never going to be ready. That's the problem.
Yep.
Okay, I don't care if that ship is 80 to 90 years old. They have been re-upfitted, and ready to take on any modern challenge. All right? All of those old minesweepers were up to date. They had everything ready to take care of almost anything that can be fielded now. Okay, even the ones with the artificial intelligence mines.
Right.
Those were already in them. The Navy knows its shit, and they kept up on these things. All right. And let's see, I was actually on a ship that was from World War II. It was a
Did you see what,
minesweeper in the late 80s.
yeah,
And
did you see one of the comments where he said, can you
yeah,
read it?
pulled the Nimitz out of retirement.
Yeah, they're having some problems with Gerald R. Ford. They had a
Yes.
fire and it's totally disabled our newest carrier.
Yeah. You know
The
why?
first of class.
Okay. Do you know why? They wanted
no.
they wanted to get away from steam power for launching and
Right.
using a electronic system.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Have you heard of EMP?
Mm-hmm.
You won't launch a goddamn plane.
Mm-hmm.
So why does every aircraft carrier in the world that uses a catapult system uses steam? Because it doesn't mess up.
No.
Anytime, every time, 24/7. It's there. If something goes wrong with your charging capacitor banks, you can't get a damn plane off.
Right.
You can't pray that plane in the air.
And if they fired a nuke up and fired it in the upper atmosphere and created EMP, they will disable most of the fleet, and a carrier can't defend itself if it can't launch a plane.
No. And since everything on there is, what do they call it, interfaced and networked,
Mm-hmm.
gone. Just gone.
$13 billion is sitting there as a sitting duck.
Yeah.
And remember, that's the cost of the carrier, not people on it, no planes on it, nothing. That's just the ship sitting there. $13 billion.
There's 4,000 people on that ship.
Mm-hmm.
All you need now is an Exocet missile or its equivalent. Remember, Argentina, when the Falklands was going on, did a Hail Mary with an Exocet from a plane that knew that if they got him on radar, he wasn't going to complete his mission. Lobbed an Exocet missile and took out one of their cruisers. A Hail Mary. They could do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's better ones out there than the Exocet.
Oh, yeah. China's got some dandy ones.
Devastating ones.
That's made to take out a carrier.
Yeah. And you saw that they had a mock-up of the Nimitz in China practicing how to take it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To show you how dangerous our recon system was in Germany, the Russians built a mock-up of my base, figuring out how to bomb the revetments to keep our planes from ever taking off. And when we saw that, we started doing what the bombers were doing, keeping a wing in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So you got something to counter with.
Yeah. Because where our base was at Ramstein, before they moved us to Zweibrücken down near the French border, they said our life expectancy was 10 minutes. If the war started, Ramstein would have been wiped out in 10 minutes.
Right.
Where they moved us to, we had 18 minutes.
18 minutes.
Oh, 8 more, my goodness.
Yeah, but 18 minutes was better.
Wow.
How many aircraft can you get off the ground in 18 minutes?
The way we were doing it, that kind of broke the rules, 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
From the time of alert, 5 minutes, crews were in the planes, engines running and taking off.
But how many planes can you launch in 18 minutes?
My squadron could get 6. could get 6 in the air.
I mean, if you got hit in 8, figure out you were going to get hit. You were going to get hit in 18 minutes.
Mhm.
You could put the people on the plane, but you could only get 6 planes off the ground.
6 planes off the ground.
And of course, you got a wing in the air. That just adds on to the wing.
Yeah.
At
That
least you got
made
something
7.
to counter with.
That would have made 7. 7 Recce birds in the air with their support unit, which was a RB-66 that was flying trail. Our system was called Data Link. Whatever the lead plane saw was being transmitted back to us. So we had it both ways. I had it was 6 of us in a pod where the bomb bay was in the B-66. It turned it into an RB-66, plus cameras and everything that we had. So the F-4 that was flying about 50 miles in front of us had an antenna reeled out the back. The antenna was a 1/4 mile long.
Oh, wow.
The
And
submarines use a similar system. That's how they contact with the very long communications. They'll trail a very, very long wire behind them as an antenna.
and it was super low frequency harmonics where we have an antenna buried in the ground. I can't say where they're at, but they're buried in the ground, and they pick up the pulses from that antenna.
Well, guys, I just realized we've gone 2 hours and
Whoa.
13 minutes.
Okay.
Let me ask you one more question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see any aliens in Area 51? Or can you say?
That area of Area 51 is a galaxy above my pay grade. However, everybody brings up this shit about Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
I'll leave you guys with this. When
Okay.
we would take off from McCarran and we got on the Jane airline, you loaded the plane by your security clearance. So I was in the middle compartment because I still carried my my security clearance from Europe. So I was in the second tier that got on board, and they close a curtain. And then 1, 2 more would get on board. The windows were closed, so when you landed, whoever was on board didn't see who was in the compartment before you, okay? But you see, I spent overnights. So when I would fly out the next morning, I would see who got off the planes. And there was this wiry gentleman with these weird ass heavy black, not the lenses, but the frames, that resembled a younger Bob Lazar. And I saw him in 1981. The other thing about Area 51 was I would bring in my camera gear. Somebody got fired because they did this. He knew that I had my cameras loaded, so he opened my camera. So instead of firing him, I asked General Phillips to let me have a gopher for a week and a half.
Let me guess who that was.
Oh, he was freaking pissed. However, you want your job back? You will follow with me, and whenever I need anything, you will have it for me like you read my mind. But what would happen was I would come in give them my film. The film that I went out with had to come back with. Cameras, same thing. I emptied my pockets, turned my pockets inside out, walked through, put stuff back in my pockets, pick up all my gear, and go. This asshole opened one of my cameras when I was coming back, and I had shot stuff. The general wanted, he asked, is it possible to have either firing squad or maybe an accident? Because they had to run part of this fucking test again.
I was about to say, what did how did Lord
Had to do it again.
Because your film got ruined.
Yeah. He goes, oops, was I supposed to do that? And I just looked at him.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I don't know what was on my face when I looked at him. All I know is that
Nothing
everybody
good.
that was on that side of the table backed up really fast.
Oh my goodness.
Probably thought you were about to take him out.
I'm sure he was thinking about it.
He's going, oh man, whoa, was I supposed to do that? Looking at me like this.
Oh.
And he went. And he's looking on either side of him, and the guys who were on either side of him weren't there.
They were gone.
Yeah, they were gone. They were up against the wall. And
all right, go ahead.
And I just went like this, and he gingerly laid the camera in my hand, and I said, "You need to come with me."
Oh my goodness.
And that was that. Yeah, but for the next week and a half, I had a gopher.
Oh.
I didn't purposely make his life shit, but he found out what I did.
I would have, yeah.
Didn't you tell me that you saw through some of the original red night vision goggles in Vietnam?
Yeah.
And they had to discontinue them because you saw stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk about that either, can you?
All I know is that you saw the people that you were supposed to see, but then there was other shit.
Exactly. Have you ever heard of the God helmet?
No.
Okay. I've worn it, and
The
that.
God helmet.
Mm-hmm.
What did it do?
You saw stuff with the helmet, and yeah, it
Oh
I mean,
yeah, crossing wavelengths.
Yeah, and had magnets, and let's just say some stuff like that in it, and for us that see stuff anyway, it made it enhance. Some stuff it would, and you had to take it off if you started. I say glitching, but it honestly looked like glitching. Some people would do. I mean, you had to take it off because it got dangerous. Not like it was. It was hard.
I think what you're talking about is also seeing energy fields and energy beams.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, some of that. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I've seen different versions of it. But that one was interesting, and well, they all are. But yeah, that one was interesting. It was a little different. So
the one thing that I can leave, with you because of the stuff that went on around the res and dealing with dead people, discorporate entities, and other things like that, is seeing energy beings that are not dead people.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that I was trying to explain to my elders.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I could see things, the whimsy of the shadow left over from a live person
Right.
than the ghosts that are there. But then there were
How about
things that just
elementals?
didn't fit.
Right. You know what I mean
And,
by
and
elementals? Have you?
yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
know you've experienced that. I'm sure you called it something different, but
Well, something in between what people see that are the sliffs, the
hmm
gnomes,
hmm
and the water spirits, the fire
hmm
spirits.
yes.
The I have to say they're alien in a way, because one thing I can tell you, I have seen what a, discorporate entity was that was left over from something not from here,
Right.
and it borders on that. And if I'm right,
hmm
then there's been, look, you have to understand, there's been others here before us.
hmm
There's been other civilizations here full up before us.
Right.
Uh, there's remnants of energy in the area of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh that is left over from degrading radiation from an explosion,
hmm
and it's nuclear, but it's not the same kind of nukes that we have. I heard them talking about this stuff when I was in, and a some program on TV brought that up about the bodhisattvas and how they're talking about these air battles and people literally walking out of the sky from vehicles. Didn't I just say that when I was 4 years old, I walked into the air?
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Okay, that was one of the weirdest things. But for you to have this documented, okay, to have
hmm
air vehicles that you copied your aircraft from, where do you think the F 105 and the F 102, the Delta Dart, Delta Dagger,
Mm-hmm.
and the 105 Thunder Chief and the B 58 Hustler, where did those triangular quasi aircraft come from? There, there's models over
Right.
that they found in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, that they built models that work. The military copied that.
Right.
Okay, you've got all of these mega structures like off the coast of Japan, these gigantic monuments. Okay, nature didn't make those. The Bimini Road, nature didn't make that. I've seen the Bimini Road from up there when I was flying with the Air Weather Service.
hmm
There is no freaking way in hell that that nature made that. I don't care how you try to massage that. We were not here first.
Yeah.
We may be, I'd say, number 7 or 8 in a long list of civilizations that were here first, and they went away. We need to recalculate how old is the Earth,
Yeah. I agree.
okay, and how old is the universe. The universe is much older than what they're trying to say. 15 billion years? No, no,
I
can't be.
agree. I agree.
It cannot be.
Well, guys, this has been great, and we could go on all night, but you're just going to have to come back and talk to us because it's been awesome on my part, at least.
I love it.
Man.
Robert, I really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. You've been
Yeah.
fabulous.
Oh, yeah. She said,
We will have to
Chris,
do this again.
yes, this going. Christy's
There's
from Australia.
13.
Yeah, Christy's from Australia, and
I heard that from the Maoris that we're civilization number 14. Okay,
Interesting. But
I
yeah,
can
you
live with
need to
that.
come back and discuss some stuff because it's I don't know. I've enjoyed this. I've just been pretty much sitting back there until we started talking about other stuff. But Lynn, I'm gonna let you close it out for us,
All right.
and
Chris,
we're gonna get off
Christy,
here. I got some
hello.
stuff to do in the morning too. But yes, Rob, please keep in touch with us, and we'll get you hooked
Yeah,
back up.
thank you for having me on. Don't be a
Lynn.
stranger.
Exactly.
Yeah, Robert. If you want to talk a little bit after the show, after we
Yeah.
shut down.
Hold on in the background.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Just stick around. Yeah, we'll pull you out, and we'll go in the show, and just hang out. Don't exit the studio, and then we can talk off air.
There you go. Here we go.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna pop my
And
stuff.
I've got to go and get something to eat,
Okay. Yeah.
but I'll leave this up.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I am going to actually let Lynn finish out, and I have to get off here because I've got to get up in the morning. But yeah, definitely keep in touch. And when I close out, I'm gonna just put you in the back, Rob. If you want to tell everybody if they would like to get in contact with you, how to do that. I think that would be great.
My main platform is Facebook, so just enter Robert Standing Eagle Marshall, and you'll get my Facebook page.
All right. Well,
no muss, no fuss.
We appreciate you coming by, and we will do this again. If you want to just chat sometime, you know where to find me on Messenger.
Will do.
All right, Gwen, I think we're about done. Let's see if the video will actually play to end it. Go ahead and play the purple video. Nope, still having issues.
Got the banner, but no sound.
Yeah, it had sound for a second and quit. So I don't know what's wrong with StreamYard, but let's just forget about the videos. Go ahead and end the show. Good night, everybody. And remember, the paranormal never sleeps.
No. 24/7. No. It can't.